really is that long. But I look at it like a privilege and honor of, damn, I'm so lucky, man. I never thought I would have made it past that first lineup and EP and all that, because that was just a ruckus mess.
Time. What's up, everybody? It's Keefy at GhostCultMan.com. I am once again, honestly, so lucky to hang out and talk to Richie Cavalera from Incite. How you doing, brother?
Always good, man. Especially when I'm rapping with Ghost Cult and Keith, man. Always a pleasure, man. Good to see you again.
Always good to see you, man. I've run into you at shows when you're slinging merch. I see you on the road with your band. I mean, we've been lucky to follow you. You have this band almost 20 years, over 20 years now, technically, because the first EP was 21 years ago. So, man, first of all, wow, right? Because to do anything for a long time and stay consistent is hard. So props to you.
Thank you, man. Yeah, it's crazy. Hearing that in all the interviews, it's like, fuck, it really is that long. But I look at it like a privilege and honor of, damn, I'm so lucky, man. I never thought I would have made it past that first lineup and EP and all that shit, because that was just a ruckus mess.
Well, I mean, everybody's first thing, right, is like a hurry, like I worked hard at this for a while, but then it kind of snowballs with time, right? Time is the big enemy of all things, right? Just we're in a constant state of ebb and flow with it. And but yeah, man, I mean, seven full-length albums in, a couple of banging EPs, like everybody says this is your best work. Is definitely the hardest Incite record. There's no fall off. I like that you're trying new things vocally. And I wanted to jump in. So we were talking a little bit offline about Lane coming into the band, and you said that he had a big hand in writing this record. So what was it like, this writing process go around for you?
I mean, this is like the freest one I think we've ever had. We did like 5 records prior to Wake Up Dead that were all kind of just like crapshoots in the way the recording, the writing was put together. So I think we always had great things on records, but as you know, it didn't hit to where we knew we could get this band to. And Wake Up Dead became that pivotal moment where we let Lennon become a writer, and really just drive the band to where we wanted to go. Removing the ex guitar player that had done the previous records, just put a stale taste in our mouth during recording and writing and stuff like that, to where it was just like imploded. And it was like, all right, let's get this right. Let's do it right. This is probably the way it needs to be. And Lane coming in just completed that, Lennon, L, and me trio that needed that other guy, man. And he's just been a blessing. He's so humble. He works his ass off. He loves doing this. He loves, like, we don't have roadies. We don't have all that glamorous tour bus, all that stuff. So you've got to be cool with riding in the van. You've got to be cool doing your own gear. And he has. And then proceeding on to writing, it just floored us what he was able to bring to the table. He wasn't afraid to introduce things to us. He wasn't afraid to be like, yo, check this out, or speak up and really be involved. And that was just incredible. And, usually we'd always done it through like email or, Dropbox and shit like that. So we had Lennon and him actually get together for quite a few weeks and actually write together. And I think that's what you're hearing. You're hearing this growth, this organic feel, this fresh feeling, a rebirth of Incite, kind of putting it all together finally, taking everything we'd done in the past, putting it on one record and making it even better and more expansive.
Oh, I love that so much for you. And Elle is one of my favorite people, because I played bass, and Elle is one of my favorite performers in the business. And it's good that you got at least that one pillar guy. He's been with you a very long time, probably the longest serving member of the band beside you, obviously your band. But yeah, it's really cool to be able to also still have that, new fresh things with the guy that's been with you a long time, keeping it fresh and being able to kind of still have that consistency is important.
Yeah, I think that's why it's lasted this long, is having, Elle and Lennon and me. I think now it's 13 years. The three of us have done this, and that makes it worth so much more. When you finally have that consistency, like over half of the band now has, over the half of the lifetime of the band, those guys have been there with me, and we've been through so much crap and shit and good times. That fucking awesome to feel like the vibe everybody's getting from this album, how everybody's digging Lane, and that's cool. We didn't just blow up the first two records. We did a nice incline, and we're able to create albums of not chasing the predecessor. And I think that's the coolest thing about Incite.
And that's really hard in this day and age in the music business. And a shout out to your recent new label, Reigning Phoenix Music, who are doing a phenomenal job with y'all and every band they have, because it's really, we're in this kind of singles era where pop and hip hop and rap and then country and other styles of music are really always chasing that next high, that next big surge. And I think for rock and metal, we're still, it's nice when something big happens, like the recent Ghost and Sleep Token records, whether you like those bands or not. It's huge for rock and metal to have bands with the #1 record. It's a rarity for us these days. So it's really cool to actually hear that you're allowed to do that. You're giving yourself the agency to keep doing that, because I do think there's a kind of a rut that the major metal labels and rock labels can fall into, where they're trying to get the bands to the next plateau. And that's important. You got to keep getting better, or can't do this anymore. Like every job, if you fuck up the fries at McDonald's, you can't work at McDonald's anymore. And so you can't turn in a bad record, but like just the ability to be yourself naturally and authentically. I think that's really important, instead of just, we brought in a super producer to make the click track and the this and that. It's like, no, like they wanted you to be you, and that's why they signed you.
Yeah. And really cool thing about our path is, we never jumped at the chance to be with those big time people. We were always with the most underground independent label, because it allowed us to have the freedom to work with people like, Matt Hyde and all Steve Evans and, Dan Seagrave, an artist, and Andre Buzikoff, an artist. And that's just been the most incredible feeling, having someone that's believed in us for so long, like Minus Head Records and Brad Hardy, to get us to this place. I don't think any other lineup or any other record phase could have been prepared to grow and be really big. I think now, with what we've been through and where we've been, now we're putting this fucking incredible team together, from RPM and Gerardo and Oscar to, C-Squared PR to our new management, FM Music, who, Testament and Exodus and Death Angel and all these bands that are really old school legacy bands that, are proving to be bigger now than they may have ever been. And that's because of the team, man. And I never realized how important that was, to really taking your band to the next level, is having everybody in the right place, man, from an agent to the band members to, the record label and everything in between. So I think we're seeing that happen now. And that's the cool thing I think about metal, is it's a thing that usually takes bands, 10, 15 years to really get to that next level. So we really nurture development in the metal scene, opposed to those other ones where they're just, shitting out what's hot, and you may never hear from them again tomorrow. So metal's great like that, man. Fans are, metalheads are great in accepting a band and going on the ride with them,
Right on. There's actual data that says metal fans are the most loyal fans of music, of any of the streaming services and stuff like that. For what it's worth, we're the most loyal repeat listeners, which shows. And so the new album is Savage New Times, right? And coming out on Reigning Phoenix in August. So we're getting to talk about this a little early. I've been lucky to hear this thing a few times, and I'm so digging it. And I want to start with one thing. I know you mentioned Steve, and I'm going to get to him in a second, but I feel like your lyrics are always really underrated, because I've seen you live and you're so ferocious live that I think people are just blown away if they hadn't already been familiar with you, like new fans. But I really love, you really went in on some really cool lyrics on this record, much more, I think, like very personal, but also kind of topical. And I wanted to ask you what some of your inspirations were for this record.
Yeah, the style totally, to me, really exploded in, when I started working with Steve, and each record from Oppression on got a little bit more better. The presence became more refined, the lyrical patterns and the word usage became more refined, to where, Wake Up Dead hit, and I felt like I was really coming into my own as a lyricist and a performer at the same time, which was so exciting. I was really diving into what I was writing and how I was writing it and making it hit harder with less, and I feel I accomplished that on this record. This to me is like the Richie I've been looking for, that I knew was fucking in there in terms of the studio process. The live guy, I think I've got that, but it was like putting the studio with what I can do live and how I do it live, that it clicked on this one, man. We tried songs like Just a Rat. I think that kind of broke the mold with the last record, Deadbeat, you know, to think, oh, I can, you know, go to this style and have it be really cool. So to hit that again, but even harder with Just a Rat was so much fun. And then songs like you know, Chucked Off. I think the lyrical play that I work on those lines is so fucking cool, man. And I never really been that fired up for my lines, you know. So I felt like I was really nailing it there, you know. And Dolores, a whole new vocal style that I never knew I could do. It was just a matter of like, hey, I just gotta try it. You know, I had to pass L's test of it being heavy enough and cool enough, you know, or else I was so scared, dude, to like show him these lyrics in this song. But I'm like, dude, listen to the music. Like it has to be this way. And, you know, he came up with the really cool idea of having the deep voice for the chorus that emulate like the black metal old school kind of feel to the thing. And yeah, it came out great, man. And I'm really impressed with Steve Evans again. What him pushing me, man. Like he did it in the best way. Like he would just be like, "Dude, I've worked with you. You're better than this. We can be better than this." And you know, really dissecting the lyrics and being like, "What does this mean to you?" You know, that was something different, and it was just. Man, it just made me feel like I've got this shit going in the right direction better than I ever have. And I feel really excited to begin writing the next one.
Awesome, man. I'm so glad to hear it. Yeah, Just a Rat is banging. It's got fire bars. I think we know you could rhyme and drop a flow like almost a rap verse, but like it's real prevalent there. And you really, you know, but it's also still like a metal song, but it's hard, man. And I love how hard you go. It's like kind of a, you know, a new element. I think about Randy Bly when he started to do melodic vocals after like 25 years in Lamb of God and Burn the Priest. And he was like, I finally found a song that meant enough for me to try a melody. And my band was like, okay, cool. We'll just trust you. And I like that you have the same kind of vibe with your guys.
Yeah, man. It felt like every song there was something we were touching on that was new and just expanding on the boundaries of what we had always been defined as.
Word. I love hearing it. And then so also, because you mentioned Lane, and these songs with Lane and Lennon coming in and really taking over that process, did they make stuff that was just tailor-made for you because they've worked with you for so long, they know what you will flow well with, or did they push themselves to us? Because I hear a lot of interesting, different stuff than any of your other records on here, just for honestly.
Yeah, I think that had a lot to do with it. Lennon, you know, playing with me and like our old writer, he would write what he wanted, what he cared about, what didn't give a shit about the input of other people. So now to have Lennon doing it where he is like, you know, the guy, he's been there for so long. He understands what I'm good at, what I'm not good at, what the L is good at. So that really created the songs to shift into more of what we've always been searching for, this energy and things that we were able to do live. And now you're hearing that first class on the record. And Lane coming in with so much artistic ability to drop in and play piano like he did on Dolores, or then do 12 string on Doubts and the Fears. Like he just really was able to do things that we hadn't had. And, you know, his soloing ability is just incredible. His lead work is incredible. I think his tone is nasty. Like, I think that's what stands out to me so much on this record is that guitar tone. It's like, damn, like you don't forget it. And I love that. And his live performance literally meets up to what he's doing on that record. So for people that haven't seen him, to get to see what he does and shred like he does is just going to be so exciting for metalheads across the country. And yeah, the process was just better in every aspect, you know, and him being such a huge part of that. We even went to like, you know, always we recorded, brother, and it'd be like Orange County, sunny, real laid back kind of environment. And this one was like, we went to New Jersey, freezing cold in winter in the hood, man. And then, you know, gunshots at night, you're not sleeping, you're in it. And we really dived into this record fully because of the environment changing, not being so, you know, sunny and happy, which was cool as well.
That's amazing. Yeah, there's a reason why Black Sabbath is from Birmingham, England, and the Beach Boys are from California. But also, I do feel like there is a very gritty East Coast, a little bit of East Coast hardcore, which you've always had a love for. You know, you grew up around it. And so, Steve, I'm so glad you, as always, helping me with my segues, like telepathy. I was going to talk about the guitar also, the guitar tone. Like I finally
Yeah.
feel like the sound of this record matches the material in the best possible way. And Steve is a genius. I wanted to ask you if you had any favorite records of Steve's before you started working with him, because he's so versatile and so great for so long. I really don't actually know how he does it. When you look up his discogs, everybody, the guy is a beast. He has done every band you like. He's either recorded them or somebody influenced by them. For real.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's what I love so much about his ideas that he brings to the table. Is just his broad spectrum of music that he messes with, from Prong, who I think was a huge influence on me from like the early, Prong Pantera Sepultura tour, where I really got to see Tommy, and, we toured with him later to totally bond, and, talked about Steve quite a bit on that tour. And Perseverance, I think, by Hatebreed is the one that stands out with me, that got me interested to look in Steve's direction. And obviously, like Suicide Silence, and my uncle had done a Sepultura record actually with him, and, talked nothing but good things about Steve. And when we first met him, it was like, dude, you're the fifth member. Like he comes in, and, he's got his notebook and he's fucking dialed in, but he's really always happy and smiling, and he gets the dance going, and he's involved with all the jokes, and it just really makes the situation comfortable, where you're like, I will trust this guy and everything he says, not only because of his catalog that he's done, but who he is as a person. And I think that's why we've had him for 4 records now in a row, and just love him more and more. We call him Party V, and he's just dialed in, man. His process really got better now too, with us, like him having his own studio again back in New Jersey, more in his element. It became just a different project from all the 3 we had done with him. The atmosphere was a huge change of pace. And again, just him constructing the songs with us, going through them with a fine comb, and knowing what the band is and can do just really contributes. I think changing the artist or the producer too much can not be the best thing. I worked with a couple people at the beginning, and it was always different, and, just so much in the air to where you didn't really focus on jamming like we get to now with Steve. And it'll probably be him for the rest of our career, I would think. And, we brought in Arthur Risk, which was phenomenal too, man. Like him to put the final touches on mastering was just like, whoa, so much beef came in, and, to hear him, how fired up he was about it with how much he's done, was really cool too.
And he's also a hella accomplished producer himself, and guitar player and artist. And yeah, I was going to say, it's fun to know that Steve's element is the hood with gunshots. And we have many, Prong is one of my favorite bands ever. I have many Tommy stories. We've interviewed Tommy a ton. I knew Tommy from the CBGB's days before Prong got big, and I was always a huge Prong worshiper in the music that I made, and even will make in the future. So super cool, man. And I love hearing all of that, introspection about the process and stuff like that. That's what I like personally. If someone were to interview me, I want to be asked about this stuff. And as a fan, I was always curious about like what the goings on are. It's always a good thing when you give when a producer earns a nickname from the band and not from a bad reputation. That's always a plus.
Oh man, and we do the joke from Cable Guy, where it's like, we'll be on the headphones in the booth, and you're like, Steven, are you there, Steven? And so it's such a lighthearted feel. But then when you start recording, man, he's up your ass, dude. But like, hit this, and it's like a dad at the same time. It's so cool.
Word. I'm so glad you talked about art earlier. I know you and I are big nerd people and record collectors and music lovers. I know it's very controversial these days about AI art. AI isn't everything, right? We're not going to really get rid of it. And it's really machine learning and not actual like the Cyberdyne Terminator AI. It's actually machine learning. That's what we're all kind of using every day. Text, photo editing, video editing, little shortcuts and things. It's supposed to make our life better, but also you come from a family of artists and makers and creators. And so why is it important to you? I wanted to talk about album artwork. Your photography was dope. Shout out to our girl Kim Hansen, who does photography for Ghost Cult also, as well as bands and festivals and things. Shout out to her. I love those photos of y'all in the diner and stuff like that, and just chilling. It felt very, most photo shoots don't look natural. Press photos are all like very like hardcore, and you guys look very chill and in your element and stuff. But I wanted to talk about specifically like why it's important to you to have real artwork on things. And it's helpful. Technology is helpful. We're here instead of in person, which is amazing. I'm in San Francisco and you're elsewhere, but I do feel like I don't want to get to a point where artists don't get paid for art, whether it's creators, makers, or, whoever, especially album artwork and things like that is really important to me.
Oh, agree 1,000%. L, Lennon and me and Lane are all huge on artwork. We were the kids going in the vinyl shops and buying something based off just a cover. So for us, that's something this man's always taken serious. From Dan Seagrave doing Up in Hell and the Oppression cover, I mean, legend, to Andre Buzikov doing Built to Destroy, and now Marcelo Vasco doing Savage New Times. It's beyond important to us, and especially it being real artists doing it. That to me will always be, I think, the thing that can separate human and machine is creating a song that's original and heartfelt, creating art that makes you question existence. That is what makes us human, is that ability to have imagination and create that thing. So it's big to us, and I hope bands don't just fall back on that and take an easy way to write their lyrics, or whatever use it could be. I know Dan Seagrave, he draws all of his by hand and paints them. Andre does a lot of the same ideas too, and Marcelo also. So we love looking at a vinyl and just feeling that, and really knowing that there was a dude that like created this out of his mind just from listening to our record.
Right on. I think that album shade matches my shirt. I got to get me one. Just so I'm coordinated.
It's sick, man.
Yeah,
he redesigned us a brand new logo for the new kind of Incite 2.0 feel that we have, and the artwork just it speaks to the savage new times of life or personal days or whatever the hell you're going through.
We're all going through it, man. We had a psychotic break globally, and now we're back, but nobody's the same. It's kind of crazy.
It is true, man. It's wild.
Wow,
that's why time warp.
I said something to a friend of mine, and she was like, "What do you expect me to raw dog life without like my weed? Like I can't function." What's the good spot near you in Southern California for a dispensary if I'm going down there for a visit and I need like a pen or a pre-roll or something?
I mean, I go up to Long Beach and I hit the Backpack Boys, man. I mean, they're hands down doing it, with all the best growers out there, with the best strains, the best vape pens. You can get the hash hold fat joints, really good prices on Mondays. They got like the 15% off the store, and it's never that busy. So shout out to them for always providing that sweet relief, as we call it.
All right. I'll link them in the description along with all your stuff. Just the last couple of questions, man. I know you got this is going to run closer to the album drop in August, but I know you got a big summer of touring. Is there anything else later in the year you can talk about that will be timely when this interview drops and the album drops?
Yeah. I mean, we still have 2 more singles that we're going to put out. So we're going to end up putting 5 out. So you're ready to check those out. We have killer videos for them. The next single, Lies. We had everybody in the crowd film with their phones, man, and send us that footage. So we're compiling all that to make a really cool idea video for them to enjoy. And then, we should be, on Summer Slaughter. And then we'll have another video coming out done by Jim LeBeau, doing it again. Did the just a rap video. So I'm fucking excited to see that. And then I think we'll have another tour in September, October with Chris Barnes, 6 Feet Under, and those good dudes. Not announced or confirmed yet, but that should be on the books by that time. And can't wait to jam with him. Such a good, humble dude and awesome.
So killer. I got to meet Jim LeBeau once about 10 years ago, and he was fantastic. And it wasn't quite doing all the music videos. He was just kind of dipping his foot into that then. And he was wonderful to hang out with and meet. I saw him at a festival I came out to Arizona for back in 2015. He was incredible. Really quick, by the way, I really hope, I know you're not the right person to ask about this. I should probably ask your mom, but Max Cavalera Dynasty show. We got to cover that. Shout out to my dude, Chris Elliott, and of course, Annie Atlasman, who's also, works in the business and also a great photographer and a ghost cultist as well. And that show I felt like I was there from reading that incredible review and seeing those photos. And I feel like I would love to see that be an annual thing. I don't know if it can always work with the touring, but it would be cool if it would come back, because I think I would try to come out for one. We can hang, chill all day, watch all the bands. It seemed like a really incredible experience all around.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's like the next evolution of, you know, the Dana show that they had done for, you know, 20 plus years. So we were excited to be a part of that. And I felt like the vibe, the family, the metal scene, everybody that was there really loved it and appreciated it. And, you know, there's so many formulas of bands that we can use that have always been a part of Max and Cavalera and all of us, you know. So I would imagine that's going to be something you'll see. I think Soulfly has a tour at the end of the year, so that's probably where it'll be, you know, circled around. But yeah, no, we'll be a part of it if it is, because, like you said, it was a freaking blast, man.
Yeah, I would absolutely come out to Phoenix for it if it comes back, and I'm sure we'll cover it no matter what. Just the last question, bro. I always try to get you. I tripped you up a couple of times, not on purpose, but I like to ask a wild card question at the end. So I look back through the times we've chatted before, and I was like, what did I ask him? What did I ask him? So I wanted to know, for the wild card final question, what is your favorite movie of all time? This could be any genre, anytime.
I would say Animal House. You know, I was addicted to that, dude, for like my stoner, you know, teen years, dude. I would just get high all the time and watch that, and that one kills me every time, man. I can't get over that enough. Belushi kills it. Yeah, dude. There's so many one-liners. I actually made my fiance. She had never seen it. I watched it with her about 6 months ago, and she was just fucking just stunned, you know, because they don't make movies like that anymore. That kind of just real raw, good humor.
It couldn't even get made today, probably. And, you know, Belushi, I feel like he was so punk rock, right? As a dude, just dude. His style in life. Like, yeah, you know.
Flounder and just, yeah, dude, all of it. The cast is so legendary. Like, when you, like, look at who was in that, you're just like, what the hell? They just kill it.
All right, sick, man. Yeah, phenomenal. Listen, thank you so much once again, Richie, and the first family of Metal the Cavalera. Is always a pleasure, brother. I will see you next time, hopefully in person, when you either come to my town or I go to see you on tour. And you know, again, these are a treat for me. You're not supposed to have favorite people in the business, but you're one of my, you know, you're one of my peeps and my favorites. And I appreciate you supporting us back as we have supported you. So thank you.
Hey, thank you so much, man. To watch us kind of both grow and things just evolve and get cooler as time went on, man. It's been great, and much love to you and everybody. Let's get it.
Word, let's get it. Watch
Savage New Times, August 15th. That's right. Here we go.
Record's falling here. You can pull it up. There it is. It was asking to be shown.
Yeah, buy them shits.
Buy them. Please don't steal them. Don't you know, Spotify's cool, but like, buy something. Please buy stuff from bands.
Yes.
Keep them alive. Thanks, man. We'll see you soon.
Have a good one, brother.